What's up to all my black people? Only because of the content of this video. And I'm going to preface this video by saying the only reason I have to make this video is because those who made the right decisions and actually build good lives and all that stuff tend to not be making any videos. And those who are making videos are those who tend to make mistakes in their choices and whatnot, right? Now, it seems to be, or it seems to me that the most effective tool ever used against the black race was feminism. And not simply because of the women, it's because it's created two sides, black men, black women. I don't really see other people having a distinction like that, because the facts are neither one as a group or as a family or as a community succeeds without the other. Now, we can talk about all those who can go into other communities and enjoy the benefits of their communities not being divided. But a black community cannot exist if we're divided. Black Wall Street cannot exist in today's male versus female dominated in today's black man, black woman war that they've manufactured against us. Because let's take a little walk down factual memory lane. We have our native cultures in which women were just as much as involved in their capacities and value for their capacities as the man was. Then we have slavery, where both the man and the woman were devalued. Then we come out of slavery. And with the unity that we had after coming out of such a generational, drastic event, we built greatness, really. We immediately built greatness as soon as we was released from slavery. And let's not forget that slavery was a war, not a docile whatever. But that's a different story. Anyway, now, Black Wall Street, things of those natures. We have homesteads. We have, blacks accomplishing things. We have black farmers, black cowboys, black everything. It's all going down. And all this is black people, not black men and women who were slaves to black men, because that was never our culture. Prove me wrong if you think you can. So all this happens. We get into the more industrialized eras, and we got cities, and we got, all these other things. And we got black pride in black people. Not black men and women, black pride, black people. We got struggles. Life was never fucking good. There was never a time when we didn't have to face adversity, but we faced those adversities together. Now we roll forward and got the Black Panthers, black men standing up for their women. Even the Crips were founded off of the principles of the Black Panthers. So we got black community standing strong and undivided through countless attacks from black men not being hired and all kinds of other things. And none of that worked. None of that destroyed the black family until feminists came. And now they need freedom from all the responsibilities put on them by men, not by life, not because this is what it takes for us to survive as a species, not because our children need people who actually love them, raising them and teaching them, not because this was the way we got this far. No, this was what men put on women, as according to the feminists, right? And they said that about all men, and yes, for a while it was women against men, but guess what? That shit died out with pretty much the rest of the races, because all the successful white women, Chinese women, all these other women have successful Chinese, whatever the fuck, whichever match next to them. And, there's scumbucket white men, there's scumbucket Chinese men, there's pedophiles of every race, there's deficiencies of character regardless of race. Yet these women pass up those deficient men and choose the best option. Now, there are the ones who follow culture and choose the worst option, the cool option, and they pay for it. But outside of that, the majority, which is why they're not the majority trashing their men, make good choices. Now, our women have wholeheartedly taken the narrative brought against us by feminists and then back it up with their choices. Because, who else gave up their man for money? And this is not me blaming the black woman. I'm not making this a war. I'm putting out factual events that changed the course of black love and black pride and black unity. And even the quest for a black nation, black greatness, all that shit. Well, they presented this idea that the reason why life is so hard is because of the black man. And, he can't get a good job. Why? Because you got to be accepted by a white boss. Or you have to be accepted by a white bank to get financing and do your own business. Or do it penny by penny, but see how far you get when they basically got infinite amount of funds to choke out your little black business. So even though they barred the way for success through finances, which is a man-made, man-controlled, and man-distributed currency, and in this country, historically, blacks aren't really accepted. They don't give us stuff, so money is not something they give us. Anyway, they create the problem by barring us from the financial world, and of course they'll hire the black woman. She's docile, she's obedient to the master, not to the black man. But anyway, so then you offer a check. We'll subsidize you if you leave him. And, there's those who took it. Now, there's a lot who didn't. I'm not acting like that doesn't exist because successful Black America far no it don't far outweigh the poverty, but you know what I'm saying, they there and they made good choices and they were accepted and all these other things. But there's even those who built their own outside of the common culture of currency. But at the same time, right, this happened. And it happened to where the men couldn't be around. Now, we all know that a lot of women took the check and still kept the man. And, you know, promote the system. It's not good. But either way, this happens. Now, Black men aren't in the house for those who got the check. And mind you, they choked out a large amount of our people. So now he's the enemy because without him, you prosper easily. With him, you have to struggle. And then sons don't get raised by men, they get raised by feminist ideologies, taught to hate themselves and all this other stuff, you know, just, you know, self-destructive behavior, which means, of course, now Crips just shoot at each other and Crips and Bloods just shoot at each other. It's all an emotional game. Everything that had substance from the start is now emotional because the men, the real men in this sector of society aren't allowed. And you get money if you kick them to the side. So there's a reward for it, you know. And that in itself helps divide us. Now, you can't deny, and it's not just that, but you can't deny the impact that had because since then, no movement of unity has gained traction. And I'm not saying it's because of welfare solely. I'm saying that was the first successful shot fired because since then, I mean, it's just snowballed. You know, you get them mainly with social media. That's where it's truly been able to snowball. There was a wide circle of man haters, and now there's a whole social platform. Yet there's no champion for the real men. So now the narrative is that Black men ain't shit. And I see women who have men who, from all intents and purposes, are good men to them, support them, all this other bullshit that they say they want. Yet they still champion the Black man ain't shit. Like, and I was having a discussion about this, and I'm, you know, and it's like we have to have a discourse to get past this. We have to talk about this to get past this. But yet, that discourse has to have a few rules, such as fact is fact. Now, we can have opinions on the fact, but we can't have an opinion as to whether the fact is real or not. Now, what I've said, for the most part, is fact. My opinion on its effect can't be 100% considered a fact. But this event is a fact. This is a event in our history. All right, so now we move forward. You have the social media. You have the monetization of worth and value. You know, a man-made currency determines a man's value. and other men determine whether a man gets that. So it's no longer based on the strength of a man, the intelligence of a man, any of those things. You know, geniuses have the hardest time in society because of its stupidity, you know? But, you know, you can look that up. It's true. Fact. I think it's because of its stupidity. Opinion. See, you gotta quantify what you're saying. Now, anyway, thing is, in this man versus woman war, we gotta reach a solution. And we gotta actually present that solution not as a battle, one side triumphs over the other, because there is no side. So if you think that and your solution involves that, you're stupid. Now, individually, we all have to be better of character and hold ourselves to a higher standard to be worth anything as a human, period. From any race, period. So that's just ground one. But at the same time, if you glorify and are magnetized to the worst traits, you can't blame that on your race. Because yes, we have criminals and we have law-abiding citizens, and I don't know which one of them is better because, you know, government, but we have all types of people. Me as a man, if I go out here into this world and I seek a mate, I have to judge the person I'm potentially going to be with. I can't do it later. You know, I have to do it up front. So up front, I have to look at her characteristics as will they vibe with me? Are they on my of moral character? All these things. If you're a Christian, do they meet your Christian values? If you just a moral person, is it your moral values? But you can't go out here and pick someone who's completely against your moral values, yet complain about that, and then break up the family that you created with the person of the wrong moral values simply because. You know what I'm saying? So when I seek a mate, I have to have a judgmental mind, and I have to take everything she does and thinks and all that into account into whether we can be compatible. Now, if I, as a man, go out there and I engage with a woman that is nothing like what I could stay with, and let's just say I'm seeking a momentary pleasure, my fault. My fault. Sex creates babies. I should treat that for what it is. Care how much money I have. Money is not morality. You know, if that's the case, then Harvey Weinstein's a saint. But in every conversation about these things, it seems like that's part of the male defense for immorality. And I mean, no, period. I can't. All right, for example, rape is immoral. I can't invent a cup that makes it moral. To where if I have 5 of these cups, I could rape anyone I want. So I can't do that on a lower level either. I can't lie to you and it's cool because I got money. I can tell you the truth and you can choose. That's it. You can choose. And then it's on you. If you choose someone who's outside of your compatibility and you have sex, have a baby, now I would say that if both are moral but yet incompatible, they would set aside their incompatibilities to create a home for that child that they created through their decisions. If they're not moral, which means you chose someone with less of a moral character, how can you demand them to now become moral? It is a sign of your morality to be a father or a mother. Let's not act like mothers ain't running off. Let's act like mothers aren't abandoning their kids before they're even born, after they're born, at every stage of birth, they're abandoning their kids. So, hey, if a man abandoning his child is bad, then so is a woman. Don't give me your 1,001 excuses, because if that's the case, I gotta validate his 1,001 excuses. She was talking too much. I left my son. It just got hard. I left my son. I didn't have enough money. I left my son. If that's not a valid excuse for him, it's not a valid excuse for her. And murder is leaving your son. Abortion is leaving your son, daughter. You just don't know what it is yet. Some of y'all know what it is yet, and y'all do that. So I'm just saying, facts are facts. You know, if it was miscarried, you wouldn't have got an abortion. So miscarriage is natural. It's not the same thing. You didn't have to plan it out. And for medical reasons, that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about you dying, and that's not that many abortions. So facts is facts. No excuses. Let's just be real. Let's be real about the whole shit across the board. Men having multiple women. Polygamy. Polygamy, honorable. Why? Everyone is involved in this and everyone is agreeing. So all the women who's trying to talk shit about these, a whole nother culture, just because you're from a monogamous culture, you're just showing your ignorance. We ain't talking about slavery. That's, you're just a hater. You're a hater over a family structure that's actually working. For those that it worked for, because let's not act like anything's perfect. I'm thinking, well, I'm not aware of polygamy's divorce process, or is it even allowed? I don't know. But I'm just saying, that is a culture and a style of relationship, a style of commitment that everyone agreed upon. And because of that, it's honorable. Monogamy, style of commitment, a relationship, two parties agree upon. Honorable. If I approach you and tell you I want monogamy and this is what we agreed upon, right? Whether I was open to polygamy, any of that, okay? Let's just say the whole world is my oyster, but me and you have a conversation and you say you're into monogamy and I say, you know what, I want you as my woman, I'll roll with that. What amount of money makes me not rolling with that Or if I don't roll with that, what amount of money makes me not a liar? You know, questions you might want to ask yourself as you consider getting a lot of money to be exempt from morality. Just like, okay, the opposite, very easy. Man, you want a wife, you want a family, you want to take care of, you want the traditional everything, blase, blase, in a monogamous relationship. And let's just say, at this moment, you can't offer a big house, you got the apartment, all this other stuff, but you figure, if I get with this stripper, I can have her back my place, right? Back my business. And then one day when I get a certain amount of money, she will become a traditional wife. Sounds good? Okay. And I don't think any man was like, yeah, man, I think that sounds good. Any man who did, you deserve what you get. We ain't got no sympathy for you. But any woman who walked past all the good men, black, because we talking about blackness right now. I shouldn't have to say it every time I say this, but any black woman who walks past all the good black men to pick the one black man or the one of the 5 black men who radiate, infidelity and all this other stuff, radiate the fact that they don't respect your counsel, any of that, don't value your sex. And then you go have a baby with that motherfucker. You work next to motherfuckers who want to be fathers. You walk past motherfuckers on light poles who just wish they could be fathers. You walk past so many black men who wish they had a family to validate all this hard ass work they got to do. Because that's what they working for. They working to build a nest. That's what we have to do as men. We have to prepare the nest. We have to come get it right. All this other shit. That's hard work. It's working 12 hours. All this other shit. But you walk past him. Why? Because he had a uniform on when he walked up to talk to you. You didn't give him nod. You didn't give him no okay. You went with whoever had the nice shoes because they didn't have to pay for nothing. It's pretty easy to get nice shoes and all that when you got like 5 women paying for them. I mean, when you work hard, it's kind of hard, it's kind of hard not to have dirty dishes and shit when you working all the damn time, I had them old nice ass shoes all the time. I'd be in my work boots after work. I'm just saying, the motherfucker's dirty, but I'm not valuable. I own everything I got though, but I'm not valuable. But the man who flosses the flashy and all that other shit, that's who you go for. And then you have his baby and then complain. Let me give you a small example. Here's a real life example, close to home, so I'm not going to tell you who. Young woman, sitting up there, boyfriend, gangbanger, smokes weed, does all the stereotypical gangbanging shit. Her father tells her, do you think those traits are going to build a home? You think those traits are going to contribute to a good father? Or any of those skills that are being displayed to you right now, showing you, you know, say you want to be a veterinarian and say this, you achieve your goal, and it's a company party. Would he be able to walk in there and represent you as a honorable man? Oh, well, you know, he could change and he could do this and he could do that. You believe that? Okay. End up pregnant. Choices. But now that there's a life, you don't want all that. Oh, you can't see the baby unless you stop smoking weed. And I don't know who you hanging out with. All your friends is thugs, and you can't be around the baby because you this, that, that. All the shit that was the very reason you mess with this person. And that was a young person's example, but at the same time, it's what everyone's doing at this point. Why did you lay with this motherfucker and have a baby with this motherfucker, knowing all this shit, only to deny them fatherhood once you had a baby with them? Like, you didn't have these criteria before you gave out your fucking number? Like, you can't, there's no cure for that other than accountability for, there's no other cure. What the hell do we do as a black community that solves that other than individual accountability for the choices you make? I can go to Vegas, find a prostitute, and fall in love, and then be pissed when she turned the next trick. Like, wouldn't I be stupid? Accountability, which is a word that everybody got fucking different definitions for, and this new change, whatever you want to change. You don't only get to change your pronouns, you get to change the meaning of things. So, accountability to me is taking responsibility for my choice. I went to prison. I did the crime. Just bettered myself and moved the fuck on. I ain't sit up here and bitch about it. Accountability. Now, if you innocent and you go to prison, it's not accountability to just accept that shit. But I wasn't innocent. It's caught damn near in the commission of the crime. Fuck you talking about? It's on a robbery. Fuck, I'm going to jail. Okay. At the time, I felt like my family would eat more if I wasn't there. And I ain't have children. I was a child of the family. And the food run out before the month was up. But none of that validates the mistake and what that equaled in my life. So accountability is, I fucked up. I believed in the wrong things at the time, and they took advantage of that. Or, well, I can't say they took advantage. They took advantage with the amount of time and the fact that a felony never leaves your fucking life ever if you go to prison in California. But other than that, I set myself up for failure and allowed them to attack me like that. But, and then still, you feel what I'm saying? Came back, bounced back, fight harder because I know I'm behind. No excuses. We're behind as people because all we got is excuses. And the only people talking are those who have excuses for their side, which means they have a side. I don't have a side. I'm a black man, light skinned, but I'm a black man. And I've 98% been with black women of all shades. But, like I say, the state of my community isn't just the man and the woman. It's the fact that both men and women can't come together enough to see that we're the only ones divided. We're the only ones, you know, still champion dumbass shit. Like, if you ain't a good dude, you ain't a good dude. Okay. What you want me to do about it? Kill him? No. So yes, he gets to walk around. I don't hang out with him. You know what I'm saying? Because I hang out with people of my own caliber. Birds of a feather flock together. I believe in that. So my squad reflects that, roughly. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no feather the same, but you know, it's not my fault that you choose him. There's nothing I can do about him. There's nothing a collective of me's, or should I say, the collective of good black men can do about a black man who believes bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. What the fuck can I do about that? How about you stop dancing to it? So that when the motherfucker says, you actually feel flabbergasted instead of, I'm just saying, choices, accountability. The only one with the power to ensure that you're not getting messed over by a ignorant woman or ignorant man is you in the choosing process before they get pregnant or you're pregnant. Before you do any of that. So all the people out here complaining about that shit is really just a bunch of kids complaining about their mistakes. You know, I've complained about relationships. And let's just face it, you're not going to always make the right choice. But you can't have the wrong choice be so fucking obvious. Like, you know, I approach women who appear traditional. You know, I never lived in a traditional time, so I'm fucking guessing, but, you know, I was fucking raised by my mother, and she was a welder, so I've never lived in a traditional time. So, you know, but I've tried to conversate with women and things like that, get to know them, and then move in. You feel what I'm saying? That was just my tactic. That ain't everybody's tactic. But even doing that, I still fucking got it wrong. You feel what I'm saying? I didn't got it right and fucked up. You know, like, I'm not perfect. I was a young man with false ideologies and things like that. Then I got more knowledgeable and seen more of the world and did more with my life. But maybe if we stop diluting the mental window with all these, oh, woe is me about my mistakes, our younger generation won't make the same mistakes we did, won't end up still trying to find love, so late in life. Maybe they'll value the family structure and start there and then see what money they can make. You know, things like that. You know, value character over money. Just because you got money don't mean I like you. Just because you got money don't mean I hate you. Every man is judged by the content of their character. Every human is judged by the content of their character. How about we start putting forth proper ideologies and proper knowledge to build a good community? These things would greatly help us. I got an analogy for you, right? You can't pick a Boy Scout and be mad he's not a Marine just because he had on a uniform. And then you can't call the Marines pussy because a Boy Scout can't hold an M4. Seems pretty damn logical. And maybe, just maybe, if you stop praising the Boy Scouts so damn much, you'll see the Marines. Because if you look around, right, let's just make a couple projections on facts, right? The lights are on, the water's running, buildings are being built, roads are being laid. They milking the hell out of that shit, but they still being laid. I mean, cars are still being built and sold, and the world is operating somehow. I think there must be a large amount, extremely large amount, because our infrastructure is not small and does not operate off of 10 men. Now, let's just say, and I'm just using these as the male example, it's fucking running. And I don't think it's running because there's a bunch of smut bucket, non-valued, non-moral men out here busting their ass every day. Because most men bust their ass for family, responsibilities. It's not easy, but good men, yeah, they shouldn't have to work, but, you know, they should be able to build of their own, do it for themselves and their family. But that's a different discussion. Still, they're out there, and your lights is on, and satellites and planes and oil rigs and refineries and fucking mines and all kinds of things. Everything's it's working. Like, how is that possible if all these men are just useless? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just too logical to be brainwashing and believing that we're just the shit of the earth. Especially since I know so many black men that are participating in that. I know so many black men striving so hard to be parts of families, stepdads, all kinds of things, just to have a purpose. So I don't see all men as black men as having lost their purpose, because I see too many of them that's hurting from it, you know. I see too many of them that's accomplishing it, but yet I don't hear none of their stories in these damn posts. And the funny thing is, it'd be some of their women's posts. Just furthering the narrative and keeping the division going. And then, of course, you got the men. Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. And, oh, you're value this and value that. I wonder, will we ever have a Black Wall Street again? Will we ever have a functional version of the Black Panthers again? Will we ever have a black community again, not so broken by narratives spread by people who ain't lived them? Every hardship in your life was by choice. You chose the wrong man. You chose the wrong woman. This is not arranged marriages. You're not dependent on a man because men have created a world where you don't have to depend on them. Guess they didn't care enough about you to do so. They just did so out of ego. It was our ego to make sure the world was safe enough for you to not have us standing next to you all the damn time. Damn. And yes, black men built those worlds before America. So don't act like other white men did it. Don't take away your own damn culture, dumbass. But anyway, why we can't stop falling for this attack, this constant black man versus black woman over things that are pretty much manufactured, just like black on black crime, manufactured. It's a term. It's fucking meaningless. All crime is based on proximity. I think I'm one of the only robbers that went 100 miles out of my city to rob other people. Most people rob their own. Most people get into conflict with their own because that's who they're with. You want to talk about white on white crime? Yeah, whites still together. It's crazy. It's just crazy how we can be so divided on such meaningless, dumb shit that in logical reality doesn't exist. So many sayings. What they say, girl math, boy math now. That's the newest thing I've seen. The newest bout of stupidity. Ain't no such thing as. At least use your terms right. Y'all confuse people. This is stupid. You know, math is math. Girl math, boy math. You ain't even talking about math. You talking about girl logic, boy logic. Use the right fucking words so you can communicate correctly. How about that? You know, but that's my little rant. It's probably meaningless to a lot. If it's meaningless to you, so what? I hope it's meaningless to you because you're not under the stress and strain of the mistakes of our race.